Tappei has just released Arc 8 Chapter 32, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. Highly recommend you check out my Arc 8 Chapter 31 summary. Anyways, let's begin. What is required is a swift attack to settle the ordeal. Should they have a giant battle, they will only hasten their downfall. Therefore, a small elite force would need to be created. There is one problem. Who will be the people in that group? Subaru questions. Subaru is sitting on the floor, and he looks around at all of the people gathered. Everyone was there except for the Valachian soldiers and Vincent. Naturally, Anastasia and Julius were also present, despite them not being a part of the Emilia camp. "I'm glad you're back safe and sound, Halibel," Subaru said. Halibel jokes that Anastasia is usually really strict with him, so he's happy to actually get a compliment. Halibel is of course the reason why they survived the ambush, being able to hold back the undead dragon when the undead attacked the carriage. Not only that, he killed the dragon. Anastasia is unhappy with Halibel's comment, saying that she isn't a heartless employer and she does pay for his work. The relationship between Anastasia and Halibel is like that of an uncle to a child. However, despite Anastasia's petite body and childlike face, she is the opposite when it comes to her actual character. Halibel reveals that the zombies in Wallachia are different to the zombies near Kararagi, and they narrow it down to it being the distance, as in the closer you are to Wallachia, the stronger the zombies. Subaru never saw the Kararagi zombies, so he can't really give his input, but if someone as skilled as Halibel stated it, then it must be true. Julius, however, says that it probably isn't distance related, but instead based on perfection. Julius states that the Kararagi zombies came earlier, and the Wallachian zombies came after. Ram asks if Julius is saying that the Wallachian zombies are the real deal and the Kararagi zombies were just training types or prototypes, and Julius confirms it. Anastasia asks Halibel why he believes that he's not a good match for the zombies, and Halibel says that his techniques are designed to kill, so it doesn't really work when the enemies are already dead. Subaru couldn't believe that Halibel was revealing a weakness, but Halibel says that even if anyone knew his weakness, it's not like anyone could do anything about it because he's too strong. Subaru, hearing this, is reminded of Cecilus and Reinhard, both the strongest of their respective countries. They are both humble and not humble at the same time, and they're very confident in their abilities. Halibel was of course a designated member of the raid team. He was strong enough to defeat the zombie dragon despite being at a disadvantage. Subaru also states that he will be on the raid team, and that's not really up to debate as he needs to be with Speaker to utilize her power to kill the zombies. After all, Speaker's contribution to defeat Lamia was invaluable. If Speaker could master the power of gluttony, she could defeat Sphinx and prevent her from escaping using death. Subaru also says that if he's going with Speaker, then of course Beatrice has to come also, and Beatrice agrees. Subaru then looks over the Speaker, who is being hugged by Rem, and Rem asks what. Subaru says that he's taking Speaker back into a dangerous situation and doesn't want Rem to dislike him for it. After all, that will break his heart. Rem says to get Emilia to comfort him if he's feeling sad, as she looks away. Subaru doesn't really understand the meaning of Rem's retort, and Ram is asked what she will do, and she says that she's going to rip Subaru to pieces, but Rem says not to. Ram says that she's only joking. After all, if Subaru died, then he'll simply come back as a zombie, and then there would be multiple Subarus, which would be a nightmare. Rem then asks Speaker if she knows what to do, and Speaker roars. Rem says that she would like to come as well, but she knows that she will only slow them down, so she can't. Emilia tells Rem she doesn't have to worry because Emilia will make sure that she takes care of Speaker and Subaru and the rest of them because she's very strong. Otto, however, says that Emilia cannot go. After all, the Imperial capital is the enemy's base of operation, and it's the most dangerous location, so of course Emilia cannot go. Otto states he's also against Subaru going, and if possible, he doesn't care what happens to Wallachia. However, Subaru knows that he is needed. He has to change the destiny of Wallachia and save people. Not only that, he has many people from the Gladiator Island that follow him. He cannot simply abandon them. Beatrice states that she is obviously needed because if Speaker's ability fails, then Beatrice would be needed to use her magic to contain Sphinx. Back in the Petelguese watchtower, Roy Alphard was encased in crystal, where he could not even move or think. The Witch of Envy was also trapped with the same type of magic, which means that Beatrice, Subaru, and Speaker are all needed. A new voice enters the fray, stating that Emilia should go. This person was none other than Roswell. Roswell explains that Emilia is useful, and even if things go south, she could, for example, freeze half of the city. Emilia has a lot of mana and can easily create ice landscapes to ensure that she can move around and incapacitate any enemies. Not only that, she has her ice brand arts taught to her by Subaru, so she has a lot of utility. However, Roswell argues that saying that it would be too dangerous is not a satisfactory answer. After all, Emilia was also at the Petelguese watchtower and she partook in the previous battle. So by saying that it's too dangerous, discounts the fact that she's been in many dangerous situations. Roswell finishes by saying, most importantly, if Emilia is around, then Subaru will be the most motivated. As Roswell said this, he smiled at Subaru. Subaru bit his lip because he knew Roswell was referring to Subaru's ability to redo. Of course, Roswell didn't know that death was the trigger to return by death. He just knew that Subaru had some ability to sort of redo events. In other words, if Emilia was involved and death was around, Subaru would give 100%. And of course, Roswell's calculations were correct. No matter what happens to anyone else, Subaru would of course return by death. However, if Emilia was involved, Subaru would go beyond even that, which would meet or go beyond Roswell's expectations. Frederica is still against it, but Roswell states that he will be going along also. He states that he no longer has to hide his identity, so he can go all out. Emilia is shocked because usually Roswell is at home taking it easy. Roswell laughs. In reality, of course, the reason why Roswell is usually not present is because he's the reason causing everything bad to happen. However, now there's no reason to distrust Roswell because of course they're in the Empire and it's beneficial for Roswell that they succeed. Otto then tells Garfiel to go along with them. Subaru looked around and saw Julius. However, Julius says that first he is a knight and therefore he must protect Anastasia at all costs, just like how Subaru has to protect Emilia. The ones going on the elite strike force was Emilia, Speaker, Beatrice, Subaru, Garfiel, Roswell, and Hannibal, whilst the rest of them would defend the carriage and Garkla and fend off the zombies if needed. However, Subaru, of course, knew he had to head to the capital as soon as possible. If Cecilus killed 1,000 or 10,000 zombies, then the mana of Muspel would be drained, and that means that the great disaster might happen sooner. In that case, it's unknown if the fault is due to Subaru for bringing Cecilus to the capital or for the Empire neglecting him. And with that, the chapter ends. So it's a pretty short chapter, We've got our elite strike force. I did see a lot of complaints about how Rem is again being separated from Subaru. She's woken up, she's met everyone, but now she's always being separated. This happened at Chaos Flame and numerous other times, so it's kind of strange.